Lankam samasadya Purim Ravanapalitam Dadarsha Sitam Dhyayantim Ashokavanikam Gatam.
Tatra Lankam samasadya Purim Ravanapalitam Dadarsha Sitam Dhyayantim Ashokavanikam Gatam.
We completed in the last section this beautiful meeting of Hanumanji with Sita Devi. It wasn't an ordinary meeting, a meeting that relieved Sita Devi from all her sorrows. Reassured as she was by the presence of Hanumanji, she declares that anyone who remembers him, anyone who remembers Hanumanji, anyone who invokes Hanumanji, prays to him, will ever be relieved of one's sorrows. And therefore, this presence of Hanumanji in Ashoka Vatika in Lanka and meeting her, dialoguing with her, assuring her, giving her Sri Rama's ring, and finally taking the Chudamani from her hair, and a message to Sri Rama. It was really a most beautiful and reassuring, healing dialogue. Having given her enough courage and hope and assurance of a quick return with Sri Rama and the entire army of Vanaras, now Hanumanji is on his next project. And what is his next project? Well, the next project is to evaluate the strength of the enemy. Because you need to know whether you are adequately prepared when you come back. And so a typical, a sharp, judgment he needs to make, and therefore what to do to evaluate. How to know who are all, how many of them exist. And so for this, he thinks of a strategy to attract attention to himself now. As long as he needed to remain in hiding, he achieved that part of his mission. And now it's about coming out in the open, and therefore this next section, verses 74 and 75, describe how did he strategize. Nivedayitva bhijnanam pravrittim vinivedya cha.
Nivedayitva bhijnanam pravrittim vinivedya cha.
Samashvasya cha vaidehim mardayamasa toranam.
Samashvasya cha vaidehim mardayamasa toranam.
Panchasenagragan hatva saptamantri sutanapi.
Panchasenagragan hatva saptamantri sutanapi.
Shuramaksham cha nishpishya grahanam samupagamate.
Shuramaksham cha nishpishya grahanam samupagamate.
So here in verses 74 and 75, Hanumanji decides to destroy Ashoka Vanam itself. There is no better way to attract the attention of the royal household, of the rulership, than by destroying what is most dear to them. And therefore he increases in size, and he destroys the Toranam, the gate, the entrance to the Ashoka Vanam. As soon as he does that, all these Rakshasis who were surrounding Sita Devi, they had seen this Vanara talking to her, and so they ask her, Koyam Kasya Kutaha? Who is this? Who does this being belong to? From where has he come? Why has he come? And why was he talking to you? Sita Devi ignores. She has no interest to answer them. And when they don't receive an answer, they decide this is danger zone. Let us go and alert the palace. And so Ravana is informed, and immediately he sends 80,000 of his people. Someone dare destroy the gates of Ashoka Vana? He sends 80,000 of his army men, the demons, to go and see what's going on. Well, Hanumanji, in the meanwhile, starting from the gate, chanting Sri Rama's name, he is merrily destroying every tree in that grove. And he sees this army arriving. What is 80,000 demons for him? He himself is a huge mountain, and therefore it doesn't take much for him to kill them all. So they are gone. The news reaches Ravana again. He sends Prahasta, his special counselor's son, Jambumali, and when he comes, by then Hanumanji picks one of these iron clubs of those army men, and with that weapon he knocks out Jambumali. Then arrive 7 sons of those ministers. Well, of course, they are also killed. 5 generals come, they are killed. Ravana sends his own son finally, Aksha, and this Aksha comes into the picture. He is also killed. This is too much. This is unbearable, and therefore, as you can see, verse 75, Panchasena Gagan Hatva, Sapta Mantri Sutan, Aksham, all these names, all these numbers are presented in verse 75. And seeing this, finally Ravana says, enough is enough. This Vanara, whoever this is, we need to know who this is. Indrajit, you go and take care of this. Indrajit is his final word. And his eldest son Indrajit, the son of Ravana and Mandodari, a very, very powerful young prince. Well, he comes, he is equal to his father in strength, they said, and therefore he goes because there is no other person, no other demon to face Hanumanji. The demons have already sent messages that this being, this Vanara, cannot be destroyed by any weapon. We have tried all weapons on him. Nothing can knock him out. And therefore Indrajit, well, he comes and he aims his Brahmastra. Brahmastra is that astra presided over by the power of Brahmaji himself, can never fail. It can never fail Indrajit, and therefore he shoots this astra at him, and aiming that astra's way was to bind Hanumanji, to bind him. As soon as the astra hit him, Hanumanji was bound and he fell to the ground. But as he fell to the ground, he recognized it is Brahmastra, which has, you cannot but submit to Brahmastra. Hanumanji submits to Brahmastra, knowing fully well that he has this boon from Brahmaji himself. And what is the boon? The boon is that Hanumanji will remain without, bound he might be, but it will only be for one muhurtam or so. Only for about an hour or so he will remain bound, and Brahmastra will never hurt him, and therefore Hanumanji is without any pain. Bound he is. He decided, let me go along. Let me play this drama of being bound and see what happens. And so he remains, he behaves as if he is in pain, and he groans and moans and withdraws his body, and he shows this pain, and the Rakshasas are so happy. They are so happy that something has hit him, and so they go get this long rope and wrap up this rope around Hanumanji. Really, really tie him up. Unfortunately. Unfortunately. Why? Because Brahmastra is the last word in binding someone. Once Brahmastra has hit you, no other weapon, no other tools must be used. If you use any other tool, well, Brahmastra will leave its victim. And therefore, sooner than planned, with this tying of the ropes, Brahmastra leaves Hanumanji. Indrajit knows this, but it's too late to inform these asuras, rakshasas. They don't think. They have simply undone what Indrajit had done. But Indrajit notices one thing. Hanumanji, it continues to groan in pain. He wonders what he is doing because there is no Brahmastra there. And therefore he wonders, there is some trick in his mind. But anyway, it has gone out beyond his hands, and Hanumanji behaves like a victim. And now what? Now they decide, what? Let us take our victim, our enemy, straight to the king. Hanumanji welcomes, and in ache and pain and acting as if he's still bound, his hands are tied, he allows them to walk him to the palace. Hanumanji reaches the palace and he sees Ravana for the first time sitting on this majestic throne. And Hanumanji's description of Ravana is really amazing in Valmiki. He says, Aho Rupam, Aho Dhairyam, Aho Sattvam, Aho Dyutihi, Aho Rakshasa Rajasya Sarva Lakshana Yuktata. What a form, what a majesty, what a power, what a splendor, what a brilliance. Look at this king with 10 heads and 20 arms, sitting on this vast throne. What a majestic appearance. This is a being that can rule the whole universe, including the celestials. If only he had not gone the wrong way. If only he had taken to dharma, he would have been the Raja of the universe. But he turned out to be such a cruel, ugly being at heart, so tamasic, so gruesome, so violent. He lost his chance to rule the universe. And as Hanumanji is evaluating Ravana, Ravana is also evaluating him. He sees this big Hanumanji who has come. Remember when he completed his dialogue with Sita Devi in a small form, he didn't destroy Ashoka Vatika, in a tiny form, he had already grown big to make himself visible. And so when Ravana sees him, this big being, and he wonders, hey, who is he? Is he from Kailash? Has Nandi come down here to disturb me? Because he was afraid of Nandi Deva. Yeah, Nandi Deva, when Ravana had gone to Kailash, he had given him his piece of his mind. And therefore Ravana is afraid of Nandi Deva. He wonders whether it is he who has come, or who has come from Shiva's land. He is unable to recognize the powerful presence of Hanumanji. So they both acknowledge each other, and Ravana asks his chief counselor Prahasta, find out who he is. And Hanumanji is asked. Look at Hanumanji's answer. Clean in speech, no wala wala talking. No vagueness in his speech, so clear. He says, I am a Kapi, and I have come to see the king of the Rakshasas. I destroyed the grove to see the king. Why should he hide the truth? Speak as is. I destroyed the grove to see the king. I killed these Rakshasas that you sent in self-defense. Because you sent them to kill me, I killed them in self-defense. I am incapable of being bound by the Brahmastra because I have a boon from Brahmaji himself. But I respected this missile sent by your son Indrajit because I had one purpose, to see you. To see you, and hence I allowed myself to be carried and brought here. And now that I have come here, let me tell you who I am. Sri Rama Dutoyam. I am a Duta from Sri Rama himself. He narrated the story of Sri Rama. He declares that when Ravana was carrying Sita Devi over Kishkinda, there were 4 of them sitting there on the hilltop. And he says, I was one of them. I saw you were carrying Sita Devi away. She was distressed, and she even dropped her jewels for us to know it is her. And therefore, listen to me. Shruyatam Prabho Mama Vachanam. Listen to me, O King, my words. It is not correct for you to detain somebody else's wife. Sita Devi is a Kalaratri. Kalaratri, she is a goddess. She is Shakti herself, who arrives to vanquish the demons. And Sita Devi is herself Kalaratri. She can destroy your entire race. All your brothers will be gone. All your loved ones will be gone. Don't do this to your race. He says, I am capable of destroying Lanka single-handed by myself. But I am here as an emissary. I don't have permission from Sri Rama to kill you yet, and therefore I leave you alone with a mere warning. I give you this warning, and behold, your Lanka is already, the destruction has begun. By the presence of Sita Devi here, and her Tejas, her fire in her has begun to destroy Lanka. If you wish to live, hand her over back to Sri Rama, to whom she belongs. And no one in Ravana's life ever dared use such harsh words. Furious he is to hear these words from a Kapi, from a Vanara, and he orders the death of Hanumanji. Ordering a death, immediately Vibhishana gets up and says, you can't do that. You cannot kill a Duta, an emissary. It is not heard anywhere. Hey, you can mutilate his limbs. You can shave his head off. You can do these different things to humiliate him, but never kill. It is not given in the Shastras anywhere. And so please don't give way to anger like that. You are a king. Be centered in your decision. Think through your decision. Then Ravana listens to his brother and he says, okay, the pride of a monkey is his tail. This Hanumanji seems to have a long tail. And this is his pride. Kapinam killa langulam ishtam bhavati bhushanam. No? It's like for a human being, hair is considered to be an embellishment, correct? That's why you want to humiliate someone, you cut their hair off. That's what they used to do. It was one of the punishments. And so here for a Vanara, it is the tail. And therefore, what? Tadasya deepyatam shigram tena dagdena gachatu. Burn the tail of this Vanara. And with the burning tail, send him away. Let him go back to Rama. And so with this, the Rakshasas are very, very happy to hear this. And then what happened? Let us see. They took the tail, they wrapped a big long piece of cloth around the tail and dipped the tail in a lot of oil and they lit the fire.